Hello, everybody. One sec. I am home and hungry. Forgot to add an extra 30 seconds. So, there's a couple things I actually want to talk about. But today, so there's a couple things I actually want to talk about. But for right now, let's do kind of a different type of Uber story. So I'm going to give you two stories. I'm going to give you one short one, and then I'm going to give you one long one, right? One second. And in the end, these two stories are going to have something very much in common, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. So the first one is I pulled up outside of a bar to pick up, it's like a bar and grill, to pick up somebody who had ordered a ride. Now, while I'm sitting there, I have my hazards on. I always have my hazards on, and I'm waiting, and this older lady comes to approach the car. Now, the name on it was like Bob, right? So I knew this probably wasn't it, but sometimes people kind of like, hey, you know, like they order a ride for someone else. So I roll the window down, and she sticks out her hand, and I like reach over and shake it, and she just leans over and kisses me on the cheek, and then walks away. Now, she could have been drunk. But this lady was like 80 years old. I'm thinking a pint of alcohol would kill her. Right? But she could have been. But regardless, I don't think she was. So that's going to make sense in a second why I bring this up. Today's Tuesday. So Sunday, I went out and I picked up this older couple from a hotel. Now, they were heading over to a church. I guess they were just in town and this was part of their religion or something like that. And they're heading over to a church. And I'm driving. Now, at first, everything seemed pretty normal, right? They're just kind of talking. They're talking about the music I'm playing, like who the artist might be. I kind of pitch in every once in a while, like, oh, this is Toby Keith. Oh, this is George Strait. You know, something like that. And I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and every time I look in my rearview mirror, the woman is looking back at me with those bedroom eyes. You know what I mean? Like, she's looking back like... And I think maybe at first it might just be her face, but when she looks at her husband, she doesn't have the same kind of, you know, sexual vibe going off. It's hard to explain. Like, I don't want to say like, oh man, women are throwing themselves at me, because they're definitely not. Like, I know I am a very, very, very sexy man, and you cannot help yourself but throw yourself at the computer right now. But I'm married, okay? And it's actually funny because I'm actually really heavy, but I have a sexy voice, so it's like I've got the body of a loser and the voice of a porn star. Regardless, my wife is pretty much the only woman who finds me incredibly attractive. But every so often, older women, especially women who are like, you know, like 50 and above, get really fucking bold when it comes to me. And I don't know why. I think it's the eyes. My eyes are really pretty. Do you think my eyes are pretty? I think my eyes are pretty. Anyway, so up to the point that I get them to the church, this is all just speculation at this point, right? It's all speculation that this woman wants to fuck me. And it's bad speculation, because quite honestly, I don't want to think about it. Because, you know, I don't mind cougars, but I like hot cougars. I'm sorry, this bitch, she had like this hook beak nose, right, and bad makeup display that couldn't hide the various amounts of pimples that were all over her face. I'm pretty sure she was wearing a weave. Never seen a white woman wear a weave before, but fuck, maybe she was. It looked like it. Regardless, her husband gets out of the car and he kind of waits to the side for her, and she goes, oh no, let me tip him real quick. I'll be right in. And he walks away. Right? He walks away. She looks me, she reaches from the back seat, puts her hand on my thigh, looks at me in the rearview mirror and goes, so I'm in town for another 3 days and I can give you my number. Excuse the fuck out of you? Bitch, let me tell you all the reasons that you are a fucking raving lunatic piece of shit. Number one, It is a Sunday. I just dropped you off at a church with your husband, and you're trying to commit adultery. The fuck? Number two, you are at least 35 years older than me. Calm the fuck down. Get the fuck out. Number three, I'm married. So even if I was looking for some strange, it wouldn't be your skank ass. You are a piece of shit. Like, everything was stacking against this woman. So I told her, I slapped her hand. I said, no, get out of my car right now. So of course I didn't get a tip, right? The point of both of these stories is this. Women, especially older women, seem to have it in their minds that they are allowed to get away with things that guys aren't. You know what I mean? That guys aren't. You know what I mean? Like, if this had been an old man, if this had been an old man, and I was a young 25-year-old girl, and this same shit got pulled, posting this video, there would be a fucking witch hunt for this dude. People would be like diving into my personal life and trying to find out exactly what time this could have happened and who this could have been and all this shit, right? I ended up on a fucking talk show, right? But because I'm a guy and it's an older woman, it's seen as funny. And I'll tell you why I know it was seen as funny. My mom used to take care of this older lady, right? And I went over there to help her take care of the lady. And when I helped the lady get out of the chair, she reached over and just started like caressing and squeezing my bicep. And she was like, ooh, muscles, yay. And my mom and her laughed. That's not fucking funny. Right? That's not funny. This is my personal space. What gives you the fucking ovaries to get up in here? And I know what does. Because women are not seen as predators. But I'm getting tired of this. My brother Axel is black. And he deals with this shit from both younger and older women all the time. I've literally witnessed women walk up and just grab my brother's dick. They just grab his dick. Or rub his hair. He's got braids. Right? Which is cool. Like, I understand, like, as white people, things like braids and dreadlocks, stuff that we normally don't do, is really neat to see. And also, different races have different, like, textures in their hair. So, I get it. But you can't just go around touching people. But this is seen as funny because he's a guy. He's a guy. So, of course, women could just walk up and grab him, right? It's okay for women. No, it's not fucking okay. It's not okay to do these things. And, like, the situations are different, right? If you're in a bar and you make eye contact with someone and they come over and you go over and you start flirting and they start flirting back, that's different. You know, then you can kind of be like, so I'm in town for a couple days, huh? Wanna come back to my place? Right? But a fucking Uber? The fuck's wrong with you? I'm here to drop you off and get my money. Right? You don't just walk in the mall. You don't just walk up to people in the mall like, hey, baby, want some fuck? No. That's not what you do. You don't surprise people with that. Hey, I saw you from across the food court. And I was thinking I'd take you back to my place and bend you over the couch. See how fucking creepy that is? Now imagine a woman being like, hey, saw you from across the food court. Come back to my place and I'll spread them for you. That's fucking weird. Don't do that. Don't just walk up to people and say stupid shit like that. That's annoying. That is so fucking creepy. But it's not seen that way because we're guys and we're supposed to want sex all the time. And I'll get to that in another video. But the thing about this is that you, ladies, any woman out there who thinks they have the right to sexually harass men, you do not have the right. The rules do not change because of your gender. You are still creepy. You're still sexually harassing people. You are still a piece of shit. Just like any guy who would do it to a woman, you don't have the right. You don't have the free pass. You do not have the ability to fucking do this shit. I'm done.